Councillor Milczyn, followed by Councillor Fillion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll be moving that Councillor Thompson's motions be referred to staff to report directly to the next meeting of council. I'm very, I think the process that the community and the local councillors and staff went through was obviously a very good one to come up to consensus on how to deal with the redevelopment of a key block in the city, a difficult block to redevelop, one in the heart of a community that, not unlike many other communities in the city, is very sensitive to the issue of intensification, so close to it. So I think I think the list of amendments proposed by Fontra to me sound quite reasonable, but for the sake of some assurance, I think it would be appropriate to staff comment on them directly. The two other motions related to strata plan and the fairness monitor. I'm very sympathetic to the idea of using strata plans when we're selling city property to lend some certainty to what it is that we're selling, and that where we have somewhat little control over what development happens on throughout the city because of the planning process, because of the OMB. When we own the land, we have some ability to say, how we're going to sell it, who we're going to sell it to, and what purpose we're going to sell it for. So I think that's an important tool that we have. My concern, though, is, as was mentioned by the solicitor, I don't want to muddy our official plan and our zoning with how we deal with real estate transactions. That, to me, is problematic. In that site in particular, it is such a complex site, encumbered by leases, encumbered by air right development, and so on and so forth. I don't think we really understand what stratification of that site might really mean, because we might be putting a strata limit over something that we don't actually own, because we have a property owner in there that has certain development rights over other portions of our property. So I think it's far more complicated than it appears. The issue of a fairness monitor, I'm sympathetic again to what Councillor Walker wants to achieve with that, and I think there's probably a way of achieving it, but I think there's a lot of detail has to go into how you set up a real estate transaction to incorporate a fairness monitor and to ensure that there's some kind of community input and reporting out along that. And I just think that's much more complicated than what Councillor Walker's fairly straightforward motion, as put forward by Councillor Thompson, would actually achieve. So sympathetic to all of this, but I'd like to see a lot more information about it. And also, I would like to keep real estate transactions separate from planning decisions, because while it seems like a good idea that in this case, to ensure that a real estate transaction is done in a particular way related to the official plan and zoning, there might be other cases where it's not such a good idea to tie real estate transactions to how we deal with the official plan and zoning. So it's something that I think has to be better thought out than what would be done on the floor of committee this morning.
Okay, thank you. Councillor, all right, question of the mover, Councillor Walker.
Are you not aware, it was indicated by the solicitor, that Build Toronto, this is a number one.
A bit louder, please.
The Build Toronto, this is a number one priority for this new agency headed up by the mayor, is to put this on the market right away. And our concern in the community, are you not aware, is that they're going to put it on and they're going to be looking for money, and they're not going to, if we don't put this strata agreement on, when we sell this property without the strata agreement proposal, they're going to come back and ask for a site-specific zoning to get more, because there's going to be more money to the city, and that we can, through the strata agreement, we can get more money if they want to come back, but they have to justify it to the communities that we represent at this major node of development and intensification.
I'm aware of that. And I'm not unsympathetic to that. That's why I simply referred it to staff to report directly to council. I'm not trying to set it off.
Which one of those?
So it disappears for months at a time.
Which
I'd like
ones-
us to deal with it at the next council
Which
meeting.
one did you, well, it has to be dealt with there anyways, but which one did you refer it off to?
All four.
10 and-
All of them.
Recommendations 10 and 11?
All four, yeah.
The whole package of what Councillor Thompson moved on your behalf. So I'll get a
For sta-
complete,
For planning.
so I'll get a complete report from staff at the next council meeting and make or not make decisions as council sees fit.
Thank you.
Okay.